Hello, everyone. This is John, your co-host of Hits of Our Lives.
And this is Murat Çolakoglu, and we're so happy to be back with another episode.
Thank you all for tuning in last week and all the other weeks. And we're back with another week. There are some fascinating news. And the charts aren't changing much, but there are some movements that could be intriguing for us all. And some other news, we're going to be talking about them.
Yeah.
So let's begin.
Yeah. Well, this week we have seen Apple Music celebrating its 10th year of anniversary.
Yeah.
Therefore, we talked much about 500 most streamed songs of all time on the platform. So definitely we're going to be talking about that.
Yeah, I can't believe it has been like 10 years since Apple Music first launched. I mean, it seems like yesterday for me. Maybe I'm getting old, that's for sure. But
yeah, and the platform and the entire streaming industry. I mean, whoa.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that a lot. But of course, there are some movements within the Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200. We're going to be talking about them. I think we should begin with an interesting move at the top of the chart. That's What I Want.
Yeah. Well, I think we have talked about this last week, how Morgan Wallen's songs are super strong and super stable at the top of Hot 100, and they're kind of crippling back atop the charts.
Yeah, they're never letting go.
Yeah.
They're just always there.
Yeah, and I think Morgan Wallen's And the Problem album is still super strong on Billboard 200. And we're talking about not just What I Want, but we're talking about Just In Case. We're talking about The Problem, the song. So they're really moving up the ladder.
Yeah, there's a Morgan section of top 10 that isn't changing much.
Yeah.
And all the songs are coming and going. It's just super stable, like you said.
Yeah.
But What I Want has reached number one like weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's lingering around the top three for a while. And I think it's increasing in radio, in streaming.
Yeah.
That is very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the chart, you see Ordinary at the top. And people are talking about Man-Child, but What I Want is there at number two.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it fascinating, actually, that people are holding on to that song.
Yeah. And I think that this week we've seen What I Want back at the top of, for example, Amazon Music in the US. So what do you think about its chances of reclaiming back the number one position?
I think it's unlikely. Because the gap between Ordinary and What I Want is huge. And I mean, Ordinary is like the biggest song in radio right now. And that gap is hard to close. So I don't think it is possible at this point. For that to happen, radio will have to embrace What I Want like now. And in the upcoming weeks, it's gonna like drop Ordinary and focus on What I Want, and that is just not possible at the moment.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be a streaming surge or a TikTok virality about What I Want.
Yeah.
And then it might happen, but I don't see it getting back to number one unless Ordinary faces a huge downfall or something.
Yeah. But also, I agree with you with all the things you said, but also additionally, I'd like to applaud Morgan Wallen's team for really pushing both songs, Just In Case and What I Want, on the radio, and they're both increasing in airplay. And the streams are super stable. And I mean, if it was, I don't know, some other artist, we could have easily seen a lot of variants to really propel Just In Case or What I Want back at the top of the charts, or Just In Case for a second number one from the album. But they're not doing it. So it's like, it's kind of almost a silent kind of really travel. So, I mean, the true applause for Morgan Wallen, because it's been last week during the recently announced chart. It's been the 6th week of the The Problem album. And it's really still moving more than 170K units.
Yeah.
170,000 units, and probably it's going to, based on his daily double prediction, is going to stay there for the 7th week. So it's still there, and the songs are still there. So I mean, props to him and the team.
Yeah, I mean, no one is gonna be able to replace him from Billboard 200 unless somebody like Drake, Taylor, or Sabrina comes. Sabrina is coming at the end of August. Till then, I think Morgan is
Definitely
at number one
Definitely.
on Billboard 200.
Yeah.
What I want to add is that there could be a Tate McRae effect with What I Want. It might be like not major, but there is some kind of effect. I mean, Morgan is country, Tate is pop, so the pop radio might be giving What I Want a chance just because of Tate McRae and streams. Of course, Tate McRae has a fan base, and that fan base is streaming What I Want, and they want it to be top 5. So there's some kind of a Tate McRae effect there too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we might see still more things happening around there. I think that's at least a bit of a movement atop the charts. So let's wait and see, because currently the top 10 of Hot 100 is definitely dominated by Morgan Wallen. And for some time now, even if it has been like more than 6 weeks since the album has been released.
Yeah.
So congrats to him. But also, on the other hand, as we have also talked about in the previous episodes, during the 10 to 20s of Hot 100,
the
we're
exciting
seeing,
part.
yeah, exactly.
We're seeing Love Me Not actually increasing, and it's very close to top 10 according to Talk of the Charts predictions. It might either be top 10 or 11. Just gonna miss the top 10 with a few points, but it's getting there. I mean, it is showing huge increases in airplay and streams. So I'm expecting Love Me Not to be top 10 throughout the summer, and maybe become a staple in top 10 in the upcoming weeks and the upcoming seasons maybe. So I'm very happy for that. Of course, there is a possibility of Love Me Not becoming a dinosaur as well. In 2016, we might be talking about Love Me Not, but I'm happy with that.
Let's not jump on that train yet.
Everything is
because I mean, we're still seeing it improve, and it still have a lot of potential.
Yeah, it has the potential to be that.
Definitely.
Actually.
And during the week, I've seen Revan Lene tweeting, quoting Talk of the Charts predictions talking about how she's so excited with the new Hot 100's potential predictions and new ranks that she's getting. And also in the previous weeks, I've seen her really being so happy with her new Hot 100 rankings, etc. So she's really also having her moment right there.
I'm so happy with that. I mean, come to think of it, there are like dinosaurs in the top 10, and if it weren't for those dinosaurs, Raven would be enjoying her top 5 song. I mean, this is true for Benson Boone, this is true for other Teddy Swims songs. I mean, Love Me Not was a top 2 hit in UK. That could have happened in the US as well. So because of the current state of the charts, Raven could be enjoying more actually, but now she's gonna be ecstatic for a top 10 position when she could have had more actually. But it's still nice, it's still great. And let's talk about Benson Boone, Mystical Magical, finally. Happening.
I don't know if it's the hits of our lives, kind of mystical and magical things.
We made it happen.
Because, I mean, we talked about it so much, how it really needs the push of the radio, and now it's coming.
It's finally happening. In Billboard Hot 100, it seems to be surpassing Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else for the first time. And it seems to be peaking at number 17.
So that is a definitely promising one based on Talk of the Chart predictions. And So let's see what the future holds for the song. And now that it's been almost 2 weeks since the album has been released.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm here for someone else is losing points while Mystical Magical is gaining.
Yeah.
So that shows potential, and
Yeah.
the label is, I think, aware of that. So they're going to be pushing Mystical Magical as they should.
Yeah.
So we might be seeing more Benson in the top 20 in the coming weeks.
Yeah. So it's like almost based on predictions, it's almost like around 40% increase in radio.
That's huge. Yeah.
That's huge. So definitely the label is definitely pushing it forward. That's for sure. And also, I think another thing we have to applaud this week is how Sombr had his moment on US Spotify.
That was one of the best moments throughout the week. I was so happy, but that didn't continue, right? One day.
It was 2 days.
2 days. Wow.
2 days. But it was interrupted by the K-pop Demon and Hunters songs, and also the 4th of July. So and also now the Drake's new song. So we're going to be talking about that. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But still, we don't know how the new week will unfold. But still, I mean, props to the New York native. I think he's been definitely going around that zenith. So now he has that under his belt.
Yeah.
I think we definitely can see more. But so sad that because it doesn't have the airplay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask your opinion about that. I mean, what is holding Sombr behind? I mean, on Billboard 200 and I mean Billboard Hot 100, he doesn't seem to be going up.
Yeah.
But he is having these huge days on Spotify.
Yeah. So this Back to France song, it has been number one on the alternatives song airplay chart for some time now. But because that chart, due to its relatively narrower audience versus the pop or adult contemporary, hot adult contemporary radio, it doesn't add up. And because Back to France, due to its genre, it's more on the alternative side. I don't think it's getting that kind of audience in the radio. But I think, I mean, based on the Spotify numbers, we see that it has a mass appeal. It doesn't only
I mean, that is huge. Number one on US
Yeah.
Spotify. And it has been top 5 on US Spotify for many weeks now.
Yeah. And it's been, I think, again, during the last week, it was number one on today's top hits, gracing the cover of the playlist again.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think Spotify is also nurturing that, that's for sure, together with the label. So let's see what the future holds.
What you're saying is that it needs to cross over in radio, to other formats, and that's the key to getting that Hot 100 position. Yeah, hopefully it's gonna happen.
And also do other platforms as well, because it's still
Apple Music and other streaming platforms.
Yeah,
because he is going for 343 for the singles like Undressed and this other song We Never Dated.
Yeah,
those are all great songs.
Yeah,
and they all have the potential to go become major hits.
Yeah.
So Sombr is definitely my favorite upcoming artist at the moment.
Definitely. I think he's definitely super fresh air.
Yeah.
And I think so, as we also talked about during the last episodes, these parts of the Hot 100 chart below the top 10, I think that's
golden.
Yeah. Wow. So I think I would like to also ask you one of the, I think, to call it right, maybe one of the frustrations I think a lot of people have experienced is the debut numbers of On My Mind by Rosé and Alex Warren.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite surprised by that. I mean, we talked about its first day numbers last week, and it underperformed there as well. And I mean, people were expecting a top 20 debut before it was even released because it's Rosé and Alex Warren. Alex Warren is currently at the top. Rosé has a huge fan base, and you would expect this song to blow up.
Yeah,
but it didn't, and it actually is a good song. I mean, Ordinary by Alex Warren is in the same vein
Yeah.
I mean, On My Mind could easily become a hit as well. But I think it didn't connect with
Yeah.
streamers and the fan bases maybe.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised by that, and I wasn't expecting a debut like that. And according to the predictions, it's gonna be debuting at number 55,
Yeah.
59. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah, in
low.
my humble opinion, I mean, the tease and the excitement around the song was, I think, much more hyped on TikTok videos, and the synergy and the chemistry among the two was much more quote-unquote likable. But in the video, because I think, I don't know, because we constantly see them apart in the video due to the nature of the lyrics, because they want to demonstrate that, it's not there. And so I think the chorus, in my humble opinion, again, it doesn't pick up, I think, in the way that maybe it should. And it kind of lingers around the same lanes. I don't know if these are the reasons, but definitely I think it's for sure no one basically responded to the song.
I think it might actually be to the fact that Ordinary is still number one. It still has a huge gap over the other songs.
Yeah.
And the label isn't gonna give up on that song easily.
Yeah.
So I would understand this song, this On My Mind song, coming in September when Ordinary was starting to fall down. I would understand that. But here it seems like they're gonna just...
like a buzz single?
Yeah, maybe a buzz single, and just get more streams and get Alex Warren to be known more globally.
Yeah.
So throw Rose or any other K-pop girl or K-pop superstar and just get them together and make them popular.
I mean, I really hope that that wasn't the thing, because I think it's definitely they could have done more. So let's just, I think, if it's the case, I think that's definitely malfunctioning strategy. That's for sure.
But they've used this strategy for the K-pop stars, like Rose, Jennie. They're all globally well-known stars, and they all had a US act as a feature on their songs, like Rose and Bruno Mars, Lisa with Doja Cat, and Dua Lipa, Jennie and Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make these K-pop stars become not just K-pop stars, but pop stars.
Yeah.
Having
Huge in the US as well.
Having collaborations with global stars like Dua Lipa, Bruno Mars. So they're stars as well. So this is just another way around, making Alex Warren be more popular.
Yeah.
Using Rose.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Definitely. So that's also going to be very, I think, riveting.
Yeah.
That was going to be riveting, I think, moving forward. So I think what I would really like to ask you, rather than this past week, maybe I think it would be really nice to move on to the current week that we're in, because I think
drum roll.
Because we have Drake's new song released.
Yeah, that was so unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't know what his intentions are. Actually, like, is this the lead single?
Yeah.
Is this just a standalone single? We don't know. We just know that he is ready to actually launch a project called Iceman. Is it an album or an era? We don't know. But it is called Iceman. And so he just shocked us with another song, What Did I Miss? And it's actually a decent song. Not, of course, Drake's best, in my humble opinion. But it could become a minor hit at this point, and it had a debut at number one on US Spotify and on US Apple Music and global as well, I think. And that is huge, and people are still rooting for Drake, and there are some curiosity streams as well, but it wasn't a huge debut. Would you call it a huge debut?
Oh, well, yeah, I think I wouldn't call that as well, because I think on Spotify we saw 1.3 million streams in the US. I think it wasn't that big based on Drake's bigger performances in the past. We also saw during the lyrics how he's also still, I think, has his voice in the industry, because I think he still has a lot to say, because I think he's super offended in the sense of what happened in the past couple of years, especially in the rap, hip hop industry, etc. So I think that's one of still his ways to still combat that mood. I think he still wants to express himself. But I'm super curious to see how I think the public will react. Is it gonna be like one of Drake's big songs? Are we going to see Drake back on the top with a lot of songs? Because with his recent work, we didn't see that much happening. So I think that's going to be, I think, one thing to look forward.
Yeah, he's gonna try to save face, actually, because he feels humiliated, like you said, and he needs that success like Kendrick Lamar had last year. So he's gonna go for that, I think. But maybe people are tired of this feud. Maybe people sided with Kendrick and just moved on. They don't want to hear Drake talking about it more.
Because I said Drake also had his moments for a lot of years, and of course he still has. I think he's still a big artist. He's a huge artist.
I mean, just looking at this single's
performance. I mean, whatever he drops, it's definitely
always a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's still huge. I don't know if I think what you say is very thought provoking. Because now maybe because we have heard a lot about this feud, maybe it's just time that we hear about something new.
Maybe if he comes with a song like One Dance.
Yeah.
For example. Something that is not related to this feud.
Yeah.
Maybe people are going to respond to that. Oh, Drake is back. The Drake that we love.
Yeah. Because I think that song was also like super cross genre as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
definitely.
Drake needs is that, I think, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it was a very mass song.
Yeah, he needs a mass song to save face.
Yeah.
And we should also talk about Lorde, I think, because...
I think that's definitely one of the news of the current week.
Yeah, she released her fourth album, for Virgin.
Yeah.
And it is gonna debut at #1 on UK albums chart, and it's her first ever #1 album there. And she is predicted to come up at #2 on Billboard 200.
Yeah.
Of course, behind Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, of course. I mean, also, I think it's very, again, I think fascinating to see. It's also something it's Daily Double, I think, pointed out that we expect the next week's Billboard 200 top 3, which will be released, I think, tomorrow, is the top 3 is occupied by all Republic albums, like #1, Morgan Wallen, #2, Lorde, #3, K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack.
All Republic, huh?
Yeah, so all Republic. So I think it's a big week for a big win for Republic. So, and also, wow, congrats to Lorde for all of the achievements.
Exactly, and she's gonna have, I think, 2 songs on Billboard Hot 100. Shapeshifter, it's an album track, and what was that? The first single. They're all gonna be around the late 80s on Hot 100. They're predicted to be there.
Yeah.
I've listened to the album. It's a solid album. I think it's personally I prefer it over Solar Power, but not over Melodrama. That's still my favorite.
Yeah, that's, I think also a lot of the comparisons is on the social media is still around that. I think people are still kind of, I don't know, missing that album and comparing whatever she drops to that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a great album. That's like her magnum opus, I think.
Yeah.
And there, people are always gonna compare any new release to that. But this album comes close. I mean, especially David, the last song on the album, it's my favorite. It's pretty deep. So if you're having a deep moment, give that song a chance.
And also, since we talked about Billboard 200, what I would also like to really ask you is, we talked about Teddy Swims last week going through the Elena route of Caesar. And now, based on its daily double predictions, it's expected to debut around number 11.
Exactly our point.
Yeah, exactly. So just around 30K units. Like you said, we talked about it last week, and it's just, one, of course, a great quote unquote tactic, if we may call it that way, to really move new units for the album and to bring that talk of town around the artist, around the album.
Why not?
Yeah, and also I think, that's how it now shows itself.
Exactly. If it wasn't for the K-pop movie album, I don't know how to call it.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Netflix soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. That one. It was. If it wasn't for that, maybe it's a new release, right?
Yeah. It would have been number 1. Sorry, number 10.
10.
Yes.
Exactly. So I mean, Teddy Swims and his team are very aware of how charts work.
Yeah, definitely.
So that shows that too.
Yeah. Wow. That has been also some interesting Billboard 200 news. Yeah. So I think what I'm so really dying to talk about is the recent release of Apple Music, celebrating their 10th year anniversary.
Yeah, that was the talk of the town this week.
Yeah.
Apple Music is 10.
Happy anniversary and happy birthday.
Becoming a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, they announced their top 500 stream songs over the past 10 years. And we have to talk about that because there are some interesting facts. And we have some opinions.
Yeah, we do. I think we can start by maybe talking about how the times have changed in terms of the released songs back around the late 2010s. Are now in the release list finally. Seems to occupy the top echelons of the lists. While the newly post-2020 songs are not around there. So, why do you think this happens?
I think streaming became a strong force and like the dominating force around mid-2010s, especially late 2010s. So that was expected. We had like huge streams around those songs released in 2016, 17, 18. And that was expected, I think. I think we should start with the songs that shaped the top 10. Everyone was expecting Shape of Your Blinding Lights to occupy the top 2 positions, and it happened like that because that's the same with Spotify too. Spotify announces its numbers, so we know the daily, weekly, monthly, everything about Spotify, but we don't have access to Apple Music's numbers. So this is a big deal. We're seeing this for the first time. That is why it's has become such a news. People are comparing Spotify and Apple Music numbers, and the top 2 is the same actually. But starting from number 3,
we're seeing some changes.
There's a lot of changes. Like God's Plan by Drake is number 3 on Apple Music. But it's number 41 on Spotify. That's a huge difference. Or Sicko Mode, number 7 on Apple Music and number 85 on Spotify. Or No Guidance by Chris Brown is number 9 on Apple Music and it's nowhere to be found on top 100 Spotify.
That's huge.
There is a huge difference. And when you look at decades for 2010s and 2000s, the lists are completely different. I mean, what is popular on Spotify is not found on Apple Music. At all. We talked about how audiences listening to Apple Music and Spotify are different.
And I guess we talked about it like last week or something. Yeah.
It comes up
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
So we're not Nostradamus or something, but we're just following. We're just predicting, but we're not fortune tellers, guys.
No, we're not. We have the tendency to become. But yeah, why do you think there's a huge difference like this?
I think it firstly stems from this main difference of audience that has sharpened, as we talked about, like Apple Music more around the virgins of hip hop, R&B, country, while Spotify, because I think due to its huge mass audience, it's like more everything wrapped up in like all genres. But I think also one of the analysis I think that we can draw from this entire thing is that when we look at all of these 500 songs released, we see that the most of the songs that happen to be part of this 500 list is mainly and mostly from the tracks that were released in 2017 and 2018 mainly. So which is around the time that Apple Music was really peaking in terms of its popularity. But I think also, as we talked about, Apple Music, I think during the last few years, I think it's diminished in popularity. I think Spotify did a huge marketing job.
Yeah, Spotify Wrapped is very popular, and people are just listening to songs on Spotify just to have their Wrapped announced in December.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I think also it's part of a huge marketing team strategy. Exactly. And I think they were really great in terms of really pulling the audience and also with their advertising business as well from a business point of view. But I think we didn't see that again on Apple Music if we kind of compare and contrast. So I think that this is very... I think one of the parts of this difference, in my humble opinion. What do you think?
I completely agree, because when we look at the Apple Music list, top 10 list, there are no songs from 2010s are there. But when we look at the Spotify all-time list, there's As It Was. Because I was expecting As It Was to be top 10 on Apple Music as well, but it's not there. But it is number 5 on Spotify. There's Heat Waves, 2020. There's Stay. So Spotify actually has a top 10 list or top 100 list that is more that reflects today's music as well. But Apple Music seems to be stuck at 2010s, late 2010s. So I think you made a perfect explanation for that. That's when Apple Music peaked, and nowadays it doesn't seem to be the dominant force it once was. And also I think in addition to all of these things, I think what I would like to talk about, and also still it is something that I'm still trying to come to grasp, is of course, we know that Apple Music is not releasing the streaming numbers, and I think we all predict that it's because it doesn't want to be compared with Spotify. And also, if I'm not wrong, what they kind of reveal and express in terms of the reasoning behind this is that they don't want to create any sort of competition. Etc. But, I mean... Now that it's like 10th year anniversary of the platform, I mean, this entire explanation and this public expose, if I may call it, I don't know, is this not the competition, the thing that they were refraining from? That's where I'm a little dumbfounded. I don't know if it's me or I missed something. No, you're completely right. I think they want to change the game. And they are now releasing something similar to Spotify Wrapped. It's called Music Replay or something. So they want to be a part of the competition now. So they're doing stuff like that. They're they want to draw the audiences from Spotify to Apple Music in this way, because they're releasing top 500 now, and they're drawing attention to themselves, so that fans of artists could come to Apple Music and try to increase their favorite artists' streaming numbers.
Yeah.
That could be a motive, that could be a strategy.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to see more numbers coming from Apple Music from now on. They, I think, realize that competition is necessary for their platform to thrive.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's Apple Music is basically hosted on this huge, globally generic name, almost for the mobile phone and the phone itself. So, I mean, they have a huge competitive advantage.
They do.
But I don't know why they're not really leveraging it to the way that they maybe should have until now.
But that's Apple's overall strategy. They don't want the they want to go for the minimal. Design wise, experience wise, user experience.
Yeah.
And they want to do that. They don't want to be like very blunt with the marketing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I also super respect for that. But because they have that kind of huge wisdom of how to really make something by being minimal, by being super user friendly, etc. They have that wisdom on how to market a product. They could also have done that with this one. I don't know, maybe Spotify was just too strong. I don't know. But of course, it's always, again, just from a music consumption point of view, from a fan point of view. Yeah. It would have been, really great to see Apple Music grow, and also Amazon Music grow, Pandora grow, everyone to grow.
That's what we like. We like competition. Even the charts are about competition. Yeah. The charts are about strategy.
Yeah, everyone, the bigger, the merrier.
Exactly. But look at the way they announce top 500. I mean, if Spotify was to announce something like this, they would have made a huge deal, like billboards. And look, I mean, remember how Spotify Rap is announced every year.
Yeah.
The billboards, and they're like very clever advertising messages, and the playing with words and playlist names and touching on user habits, even the playlist names. So they really spend time on this tool, marketing their product. But Apple Music just announces the top 500.
Awesome point of view. Well, I totally agree. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was like a normal reveal. It was like...
here is the list.
Yeah, here's the list. It was just like only release in between like certain periods. We had to take some breaks in between the announcement of certain brackets of, I don't know, 50 to 75, etc. That's it.
I mean, even Billboard did a much better job announcing their top 100 list.
Yeah, exactly.
With the visuals and all.
Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to just jump on this bandwagon and of you making this list, because I think it's been so popular in the past couple of years, everyone just announcing some lists based on some chart or stat or data.
People talk about it.
Yeah. So now they wanted to jump on the bandwagon. Bravo. But I don't know if it would have been really great to see it in another perspective. But of course, I mean still a huge respect for Apple Music, and thank you so much.
Exactly, I love Apple Music. I mean, their visuals and stuff within the app is great. I like the experience. Yeah. But this list just shows that how outdated they've become. I'm sorry.
That's definitely, I think, some point to definitely talk a lot about. And guys, if you have other comments and questions about and what you feel about this one, please let us know.
Wow, we're closing in on 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
I think that is it for this week.
Yeah.
We're probably going to talk about Drake's debut next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Let's see how the charts will shake up if they do. Hopefully.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
Okay. See you next week.
Talk to you soon.